Keep 100% of your claim. G4 Claims.
If you've been hurt in a road accident that wasn't your fault, you should really talk to G4 Claims first. Unlike road accident solicitors, we don't charge you for our services, which could see you better off. To keep 100% of your compensation, have a chat with Nicole and the team. You'll be glad you did. Search online for G4 Claims.
Keep 100% of your claim. G4 Claims.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Sellik the Thunder podcast, episode number 82. Still no shirt numbers to talk about as far as I'm aware, so I'll ask you the same question as I've asked you the last couple. Could you tell me the top goal scorer from the 1981/82 season? Kieran Auld, Ryan McGinley, any clues?
I need to just start cheating for this.
Did you know cheat before he came there?
Nah.
Oh, come on.
Frank McGarvey,
he was the top scorer for the 1981 season, wasn't he? So you're using the same logic that
pretty
Kieran
much.
tried the episode before. Well, I can reveal to you that the top goal scorer wasn't McGarvey. It was George McCluskey.
Oh yeah,
It was George McCluskey, the same as the 1980 season. He scored 21 in the league in this campaign and 25 in all competitions. Celtic were crowned champions by 2 points. Finishing above an Aberdeen side who finished second again. So nice day early 80s, nice sight of Rangers. They were actually 12,
Just like the present day.
12 points behind Celtic at that point. So just a wee bit like now. But welcome back to the podcast. It's nice to see you all. We took a wee week off last week. Me and McGinley were down to the wire with the dissertations.
Much, yeah,
It was deadline day last week. So I'll start the show with welcoming you, Ryan. How are you getting on? How did you find the end of uni life?
Yeah, I mean, we're still getting a couple of
You just had to
assessments.
ruin it. You could just pretend that it's done.
I'm not gonna be a
Do you want people
liar.
to think you're stressed? Creating the illusion of...
I'm really not. I think that's the thing. Once we've done our dissertation and then we've got 2 other assessments to do, I don't think we're as bothered now. We're like,
Yep.
just want to get to the end of this.
Yep.
You've got this all to look forward to next year,
I
Kieran.
know.
But it's done, which is good, basically. It's basically done.
Chill time now, innit?
Chill time. And to the left-hand side of Ryan, we have Kieran Auld. How you doing?
I mean, I've still got stuff to stress about for uni because I'm a lowly
I don't
third year.
mean to make you envious or nothing.
I know.
That wasn't my intention.
I've got most of the exams out of the way. So.
Aye, that's good. We're coping. For all the people who wish us the best. In the
One of my
comments.
favourite comments last time
I was
was
gonna say the same thing.
these boys at university, frightening.
Do you know what? See, the worst part is, right, some people might look at that as offensive or maybe something
Can't
quite
even
cheeky.
argue that.
Cannot argue it in the slightest. It is terrifying that all 3 of us are at uni.
I suppose.
Well, Ryan's, me and Kieran, frightening that we're at uni. We dropped out once, but we've managed to do it a second time. Back again. But we're here to talk about everything coming up this weekend. It's obviously at that point of the season now where we're kind of just slowly making our way to the end. This is the last game before the split fixtures will be announced, and it's a game that you would expect Celtic to go by particularly easy. But there's always conversation to have. We take on Modernwell on Saturday. Ryan, there's got to be a lot of things to talk about in regards to injury, transfer, and we'll get into all of that as the episode goes on. But how are you feeling going into this? Because we've picked up our points, we've done the business, and it's just we've got a big game to look forward to next week. But we've got this.
Yeah, I mean, it's a game that you would expect us to win regardless of Motherwell's form. Motherwell's form's been great since Kettlewell came in. He's done a great job. I've always thought he's quite a decent manager. He was quite hard done by at Ross County, I seem to remember. But it's a home game. We're expected to win these games. We're expected to win every game in the league, to be frank. But yeah, I'm sure it'll be a tough challenge. Van Veen's in form. He's scoring goals. I think he's the second top goal scorer behind Kyogo now in the league. I think he's 2 or 3 goals off Kyogo. So he's having a great season. But you'd expect us to win. You'd expect us to hopefully win comfortably and get the goal difference up even more.
Yeah, that would be ideal. Of course, we've hit that point now, Kieran. 100 domestic goals, 100 league goals, I should say, 102 to be precise. And we have a record in sight that we could break. Do you think this is a weekend for Celtic to just try and get further towards that? Is that in your sights? Do you care so much, or is it just about the 3 points?
I think a lot of people are making it. I think just because we're 12 quid, a lot of people are maybe sort of wanting to go and break records, and obviously you want that to happen, but it's no like a be all and end all for me personally. I just want to get the league proper mathematically wrapped up. And I mean, it's 12 points clearly. Was it 6 games left?
6 games to play.
So I mean, I don't know, you just want it to be over and done with, and as you said, we're in the home stretch now. You just want the finish line's there.
Yep.
You know, just you would like us to go out in style.
I would like us to go out in style. Obviously, this game probably holds a little bit of significance in the sense that we always say, it's the one before a derby. You want to go into the derby in high spirits and stuff like that. So I would like to see goals galore, Ryan, and this is one of these games where there is an opportunity to maybe spice things up with the team, because there are still players out injured. You know, we know that they might rest perhaps. What do you expect to see? Any big changes in the side? I know we'll come on to team selections and such, but let's just get on to the nitty gritty. Do you think that this weekend's a showcase for anyone in particular?
I think for maybe players that are coming in because of injuries to other players, it's another chance to showcase their abilities. I'm not sure about Jota's fitness. I've not really heard too much about him. I know that people couldn't find pictures of him.
I should really throw out that disclaimer that we usually do. This is the Thursday night, so Ange will speak tomorrow and we'll probably have definitives. So we are speculating a little bit here, but I'll let you continue.
It looks as if Carter Vickers is going to be okay. I wouldn't really want to be risking him when we've got such a massive game, but I'm sure he'll play.
What's the script with Carter Vickers? Because
do we want to just
after
jump onto this? So the Record article suggested that he is going to play up until this game against Rangers next week, and then he's going to head in for surgery. But they were using a lot of coulds, maybes, perhaps. You know, there was nothing definitive there. And then I made a video on it, and obviously I'm like, we'll probably find out off Ange on Friday. But even at that, Ange is the kind of manager who doesn't really give much away when it comes to stuff like this. He likes to keep people on their toes. So I don't really know, to be honest. And the way that I looked at it was, right, yeah, it'd be perfect to have him tomorrow. Maybe not as much as next weekend. It would be perfect to have him, but I don't know. I'm kind of in the mind that I think that if we want to prioritise him being fit for next season, I wouldn't really mind if he sits out for the next
I'm the complete same
till the end of the season. I really wouldn't. I don't know your point on it, your view on it.
I mean,
Kev.
obviously you want to have the strongest team in the park at every game possible, but I mean, as you say, that is forward planning, I suppose. Maybe a bit. I don't know. I feel like it's not the sort of thing you would imagine Celtic doing by saying, he's going to be playing up until then after that game's out the way. Like, for me, that just, I don't know, it just seems very, very weird. I don't think we've seen Celtic really do that, to be honest.
Because I've seen, there was once, people were drawing comparisons to last year with Kyogo, and mind he came back and then he quickly had to go away again because he aggravated it or whatever. And that's what I'm thinking of. And would they learn from a mistake like that? You know, Kyogo had to sit out for a length amount of time. Would they want that to happen with?
Because he got rushed back for the League Cup final in December, didn't he, in 2021? And then he got injured on Boxing Day, like 5 days later.
And like, is it worth doing that to Vickers for that semi-final? Because I think, in my opinion, Kobayashi, there's nothing to suggest he's a world beater as good as Cameron Carter Vickers, but I think he would be good enough to hold in place for him in that semi-final.
I know, I don't think anybody would be overly panicking about him. I mean, came in and looked quite assured. Granted, he's not had the minutes that you'd maybe want to somebody that's going to have to, if he was to start against Rangers next week. But I mean, I don't think he's really put a foot wrong for him to like say, "Oh Christ, no, don't let that boy start." Like,
so on that note, would you start him tomorrow?
Like Kobayashi?
Or would you give Cameron Carter Vickers the couple of games? And if he's, let's hypothetically say that Cameron Carter Vickers is going to play the semi-final. They've made a decision. He will play the semi-final, and then afterwards he'll head off for this knee surgery. Would you risk him in the 2 games, or would you play Kobayashi instead tomorrow?
That's a weird one, because if he is carrying an injury, you don't want to possibly fuck it before that game, but then again, you don't want him sitting on the sidelines and then his first game back is that. So I don't know, I think you're kind of damned if you do and damned if you don't. So I think thank God I'm not the one making these calls.
No, I'm glad it's not me, because I'd probably have them all stretcher that the Royal by the end of the night. Ryan, what's your spot?
I don't think it's a risk to play Kobayashi whatsoever. I don't think he's put a foot wrong since he's came into the team. He's made 2 starts, is it, and 4 sub?
Yeah,
or
something along those lines.
Something like that. His distribution looks really, really good on the left-hand side. I think that was something that really, really stood out in the opening 27, 28 minutes of the game against Kilmarnock, which I don't know if we'll talk about, but I mean, that was 27 minutes of absolute brilliance. His distribution towards Greg Taylor especially was phenomenal, and it was really getting us going really, really quick on the pitch. I don't want us to jeopardise Carter Vickers' long-term future or his long-term health. If he needs to go and get this surgery, then I would want him.
Is it a knee surgery? Yeah, I see. That's something that worries you a wee bit. To be fair,
absolutely.
that's something that can be very long lasting if not properly treated. You've seen that with plenty of players at Celtic over the years.
And I think it'd be nice to see Starfelt playing on the right hand side as well, because I thought he looked really good against Kilmarnock as well. Looked really, really assured down that side. He's looked assured on the left hand side as well mostly, but him playing in his normal position, that'll give him some authority in the team. That'll be able to help Kobayashi, because Kobayashi's just a young guy, 21, 22 years old. It's a great chance for him to sort of get some game time. But if we're going to play Carter Vickers for one game, it's got to be that game against Rangers.
Yeah, I think if you've got to pick and choose, then I think it just makes more sense to keep him for that game. And it's not like Carter Vickers is the kind of player either who I think suffers from being out in the cold. You know, you look at the start of the calendar year, he came back in after a run of games not being in the team. He was absolutely fine. And I'm sure he'll be absolutely fine if he comes back in here. It's not like he needs a warm up. He's that good, so I think he'd be absolutely fine to go. To be honest, I just Google searched there actually Cameron Carter Vickers' name just to see if anything else had broken tonight that I missed. And shout out to Hamish, because Hamish wrote a good article for 67 Hill Hale, and a source that is close to the Cameron Carter Vickers camp, one Mr. Larry Henry Jr. Very American name that, innit? He said that Cameron Carter Vickers is expected back for Celtic this weekend by saying he's been grinding it out for Celtic during the second half of the season and is hoping to get through the Scottish Cup semi-final next weekend. So if that's anything to go by, and if there's any truth in that, then it looks as though he'll be up for selection at least. So we'll just have to wait and see. I mean, I'd love him to be there, to be fair, but I'm not going to, as you said, Kieran, I don't think I'm on the side anyway, but I wouldn't panic if he wasn't there. Yeah. I guess tomorrow's game, the game against Motherwell, will show a lot on that. You know, we'll be able to pick up confidence and points to speak about heading into it anyway. So it's not the end of the world. We'll talk about our form against Motherwell for a minute, Ryan, because we don't usually struggle against Motherwell. Our form has been absolutely delightful. The last time we dropped points against Motherwell was a 1-1 draw at Fir Park in December 2018, which just shows you that, I mean, and granted, Christ, we've only dropped points twice in the league this season, so it's not like there's anybody really to talk about, but it's just one of these games that it's just get the job done and head into the split now, get into the tough games, really.
Pretty much, yeah. Just get the
I always hate that though, because I hate, like, sorry to cut you off.
No.
I hate bringing down the importance of any game, but I think it's just like, let's get it done.
That Rangers game was massive. That 3 points, it just sort of extinguished any hope that they had of coming back into the title race. So we're in this nice sort of position where games are important, but they're not. They're not the be all and end all, which they were 2 weeks ago, I would say. Yes, they're still important, but they're not going to define our season anymore. I think now it's about how much we'll win the league by rather than if we'll win the league. Yeah. It's more a win at this point.
Kayla, I want to ask you a question in relation to a couple of players, because you've wrote a few articles on them and such over the last couple of years. But before I do, just a quick point. I've just realised this will be a very rare occasion for the two of us because we won't be in attendance. Very, very, very rare. It's sad not to be in attendance, but we won't be there. We are going to the races.
Scottish Grand National.
I'm protesting. I'm running on the track before the National.
Nice.
I mean, we've got to do something, haven't we? But Kieran, the question I wanted to ask you was, is this another opportunity for maybe the likes of Rocco Ovata and Ben Summers and such? Obviously, you've wrote a couple of articles in relation to the B team. It's been nice to see them make some appearances. Ovata and Summers came off the bench.
It's good because, I mean, over the past few years, I feel like it's still not any different, but it's been very bit part. Like you're not really getting a lot for the B team coming through. And you're questioning whether it was the quality or if it was just the lack of opportunity, because we were in a position where we had to rebuild and we didn't really have the time to sit and put players first, really. It was sort of about getting results from the park. And I don't know if you're maybe going to see, especially in the run into the season, as McGinley said, we've got that sort of cushion. You probably can afford to give these guys a lot more minutes. I don't think you're going to see them starting. I'd be surprised at that, but I think you could maybe see them getting, maybe even Vata getting like half an hour or something at the end of the game. I would be more than happy for that. But in recent years, you've seen like players getting a chance on trophy day and that.
Aitchison and guys like
so
that.
It's like, you don't want them to just that be their career. Like, you want to see them get into the team, but it's like they need to merit being in the team. Like, you can't just get in just for the sake of, we need to bring players through the academy. Obviously we do, but they also need to be good enough. But
it's also a big chance with the fact that, you know, we're talking about maybe Jota being out. There's still no confirmation on Abada's situation if he'll be back. So there is spots there for them to take. So.
I mean, if they started, I really hope they do well, because that's exactly what you want to see. Because I'm sick of seeing any player with any notion of they might be good one day and then they get poached off a Bayern Munich, they get poached off a Liverpool or a City, or so you're kind of sick of seeing that happening. But with these guys, it's like you either move or you don't get the opportunity here. So hopefully they get the opportunity. But that Ben Summers a player as well.
Aye, I was going to come at you, Ryan. What did you make of him coming off the bench last weekend? Vata was incredibly unlucky not to have an assist. Brilliant,
had an
fantastic assist in for the big goal.
That's a sitter.
Aye, it was a sit. I mean, it's obviously difficult. I mean, we always underestimate how difficult these chances actually are when a ball comes into you that pace, and you've got to get it right. But aye, it should have been an assist. But in terms of their performances, what did you make of them coming off?
Can't really say too much about Ben Summers because he just came off and the game ended a couple of minutes later. But Rocco Vata seems to have a bit about him. He's a bit bigger as well. He's a lot taller than I thought he would be. He puts himself about, and he's a couple of really nice crosses into the box, which really impressed me. He's coming from good stock. Obviously, his dad played for Celtic, and his mum sounded delighted on Twitter at the end of the game. Yeah, she's obviously his biggest fan, which is great to see. I want to see more of him. Hopefully he can make a bit of an impression in pre-season this season coming, because he done that last season. He scored, I can't remember who it was we were playing against, but he scored a really nice goal. But you want to see these guys coming on and doing well. I think Kieran's right. I think if you are going to see them, they're going to be coming off the bench, maybe coming off for Haksabanovic for the last half hour. But it's good to see these guys coming in, and that was the one sort of area that I think that we hadn't really seen from Ange was integrating the youth into the first team. Yes, we did see it a tiny bit with regards to last season because it was a necessity. We needed to play Montgomery in some games, but this season it's nice to see some getting integrated. You see Bosun Lawal making his debut as well, so you want to see more of this as the seasons go on, and that'll be like the sort of last string to Ange's bow in terms of bringing the youth in.
Obviously we've been waiting for maybe some graduates to make a big impact. The last one to make a big impact would have been Kieran Tierney, so hopefully sometime soon we see somebody step up and make a similar impact.
And I think it helps because the B team are now trying to incorporate the sort of Ange Ball style of play, so it's an easier transition into the first team if they're already playing the same system in the B team and then going into the first team. That's always good. That's good integration.
Yeah. Right. Well, in regards to the game, then let's just get on to the team predictions and score predictions, because there's not too much else in terms. You've touched on the opposition form. Listen, we should, no disrespect, we should be fucking beating them. And that's as simple as that. So team prediction, in goals, Birthday Boy, Joe Hart.
From Ben Foster's podcast.
Looking forward to hearing that.
I'm looking forward to that as well. I wonder how much it's sore listening it'll be though, because I have a feeling it'll be that kind of, lads, come on English.
I think Joe Hart's changed a bit though.
Free lines.
I don't know if
decent. I know, you know me, I love Joe.
How many times will he say that? Sweet as a nut.
I know, exactly. But I'm looking forward to listening. It should be good. So Joe Hart in goals. Kieran, I'll let you go with the back four.
Alistair Johnson, Starfelt, Kobayashi, Taylor.
So are we all going for Kobayashi? What do you think, Ryan? Aye, all going for Kobayashi.
That'd be good for him.
It would be good for him. I think it makes sense. I think it makes sense to play. Well, obviously, I'm not the manager, and whatever the manager sees best is the right way to go. But I'm going to go for Kobayashi. So a good back four, Kieran. I agree 100%. Ryan, midfield three.
Iwata's got to be in there. Iwata, McGregor, and O'Reilly.
Hopefully, this. I mean, I've never been against him anyway. I've never been on the full side of what he's done that some people were fully committed to, but hopefully last week is a sign of him sparking that proper form back, because he was brilliant last week.
His touch was there.
Yeah.
When you see that Matt O'Reilly's first touch is there, you know he's going to have a good game, and he certainly did.
But has he got 3 goals, 11 assists? That's up to 12 assists.
I think
obviously he leads the assists, but I know the goals last week. I'm like, it's meant to be he's only scored 3 goals. Let's see after the impact he had when he came in.
Yeah, in the league he has 11 assists. 11. So there you go, 11 assists in the league. I don't know about all competitions, but
he's hitting form at the right time as well. We're getting into the business sort of games, especially if you think about next weekend. He's a guy that could really change things next weekend if we're in a bit of a dogfight, which I expect it to be. I expect it to be a close game. So I know we'll probably do a preview on that, but he's going to be such an important player for us.
Hopefully he continues it this week, because as you said, I think that going into next week you want those kind of players to just be on the ball. You want them to be clicking. It's a good midfield three. Front three I think might be the hardest, because there is options to rotate and yada yada. So what we're thinking, I was going to take it away myself, but I talk enough. So
I'm not sure. I want Haxa to play again, but I've got to caveat that with the fact that you've got to play him on the left-hand side.
Yeah, last week it annoyed. I was basically pissed me off as if I was raging. We were fucking brilliant. We were 4-0 up in 27 minutes. It's hardly like I was fuming. But you can notice that he shouldn't be on the right. He should be on the left. And I think that takes away from his game. I think that takes away from what he can offer when he's on the right hand side. Aye. So I would like to see him play tomorrow, but it's just a question of, do we move Maida to the right? Do you know what I mean? How do you?
Maida's going to play. That's the thing. He's always going to play. He is. I hate saying this. He is the teacher's pet. He is Ange's favourite player. I think he's always going to play him.
Ange would kill you for saying that.
Oh, I know, absolutely. But Ange loves him. Ange trusts him so much. And do you know what? He got a goal last week, so you can't really drop him either.
So we're going Maida definitely. Then he'll be on the left hand side. Do we think Hacks will be on the right hand side?
Yeah, I don't know about a bad.
Kieran's given a.
Is a bad available, but
no confirmation.
I'm kind of feeling like we won't see him like
again. Never.
No, but like see all the talk about him leaving in the summer and that, and with the injuries, and I don't know. I can just like what they're talking about with youth players and that. Will he maybe try and give them chances?
Maybe
in a player that
bad.
It was over. Like if as Ryan said earlier, if we were in a situation where it's like every game was like life or death, like you're watching every game rattling like a bag of gingers. So like, but it's not like that. So I think we have got that cushion. But then again, he's not going to start the strongest team. But
No.
I'm gonna. Kyogo's fit, isn't he? Aye, so
I hope so.
I just doubted in my head there for a second. Don't know why. I'm gonna. Do you know what? I'm gonna go Hacks a Kyogo and then Maida. That's my free. I don't know about you two. You can take it away. On you go. That's my free.
Wouldn't be against O starting though as well.
Would not. It would be. But Kyogo's Kyogo, isn't he?
Yeah.
I don't think you can drop Kyogo.
Aye.
As much as you want to see O get minutes and that, I think
Aye.
O's going to be pure pissed off at no getting a start. He can see who's in front of him in the queue. Like,
He's only here 5 minutes.
I know.
If he bides his time, he'll get that spot. But he just needs to keep on working at it.
So we've got definites for Kyogo and Maida then. It's just who you've got in the right.
Probably will be Hacks, to be honest.
So we're all agreeing then. So we've basically went spot
Because I mean, they
on.
can switch them mid-game as well. Like,
Yeah,
he's
exactly.
got that amount of time.
Yeah. Lenny, switch for the wingers. Holding up his wee side.
Hapoel Tel Aviv, it looks like for Lenny.
Oh, is he?
Aye.
Oh, he's getting out, eh?
He's got a great affiliation.
Great affiliation with Israel. Oh well, Lenny, well done. Right, that's the team predictions. So score predictions to finish it up on the Motherwell chat, ladies and gents. I'll kick us off, and I'm going to go for 4-0 Celtic. McGinley.
I'll go for the exact same.
Oh, you're copying me.
I was going to go 3-0. Hopefully it'll be 3-0.
Right, 3-4-4. What a formation.
It'd be nice to keep a clean sheet this game because that really annoyed.
For Joe's birthday.
And you know, it's mental because we were so far ahead of Kilmarnock, but it really annoyed me when we conceded a goal.
I know, it
just upped me.
Bitter's the beer.
It does.
Yeah,
and
it
you know,
adds something.
but it just shows you how high the standards are now. You get annoyed at us conceding a goal.
I know, we have a fucking cheek now and everybody hates us. Right, well, that's that for the game tomorrow. Then it's the split afterwards. So we should know the split fixtures by Monday.
I mean, like you can sort of figure out when certain games will be. Like,
Yeah.
Because I mean, obviously, Rangers, they probably won't want us playing them in the first 2 games.
Yep.
And the way it's going to go is probably away, home, away, home.
Yeah. So use your crystal ball, Kieran. Who do you think will play first? And
I think Rangers away, third game.
third game, right? Who do you think will end the campaign on? Parkhead against whom?
Aberdeen.
Aberdeen.
I like that.
There's the Kieran old crystal ball. Who's currently, as it stands?
You're just hoping that Hibs.
I hope Livy go back into the top 6.
I'm trying to think.
Livy, you want us to play in the plastic pitch?
Right, because I might get a ticket.
See, but
Enough.
What?
No.
How's that? What
Nah.
do you give me a look like that for?
You want us to play on a plastic pitch?
I just like getting
I
away
will
game.
never support a team
Just
that plays on a
looking
plastic
at that,
pitch.
but-
I'm not supporting them, Ryan. I'm not going to the game in a fucking Livingston shirt.
looking at that, to be fair, it could be if St Mirren don't bottle it. Wait, can they bottle it? No, they can't, can they?
They need I think they need a point. Aye, they need a point.
Aye. So
And
they're playing Kelly at the weekend, but
Yeah.
I'm looking at who technically, because we need to. If they were doing it logically, we wouldn't have to play like 4 of them away from home, but they're not going to make us do that.
Yeah. But I think they would give it. I think that they would change
Ibrox
the
is
home
definitely-
game. I think they change the home game to the team who finishes the lowest.
Aye.
Because I think that's how they do it. So it would maybe end up being Livy. They might end up giving us at Parkhead. So, Ryan, I don't know what you're.
I know, because I can't see
Just
us
hanging
no
at me
going to
for-
Pataudry again.
Aye,
Right.
aye.
I want them in the bottom 6.
Oh, fucking hell, right?
I'd ideally want them relegated.
Aye, I mean, yes, ideally, but the opportunity is there. I'm not going to go down, so I mean,
I'm not going to get a ticket, so.
Oh, so you're just want to take out and everybody
Absolutely.
else then?
Yeah,
Aye.
absolutely. I'm just going to put it down there right now.
Bitter.
Don't care.
Bitter.
I just do
bitter.
not like Livingston at all.
Aye, you made it clear. Don't worry. You'll get your opportunity when we play them in the split. Don't worry. Right, we'll wait and see what happens with the split then. We'll know that by the next podcast, which will obviously be a derby preview show.
Another one.
Another one. And then there's another one to come.
My God.
I know, fucking hell. Right, let's get into the halftime quiz that Kieran has so kindly prepared for us, as always. And today, it's Who's That Tick? Ooh. Could be Tuffy, could be Tierney, played for Celtic, now he doesn't. Who's that tick? Who's that?
You're just getting used to that because you can't use it here, you know.
Aye, that's it.
Did you done for copyright for that?
No, I don't know. I probably am going to use it. I'm going to use it in this. I'm going to put it onto that soundboard so I can play it before every time we play it. Right, so it's Who's That Tick? As we all know, I will give away the clubs that the player joined Celtic from and then left Celtic for. We have 2 players today, as always, and the clue for today is players who have scored in more than one match against Rangers. So there you go. Who won last week? Was it you, Kieran?
Aye.
So Kieran, I'll let you choose player A or player B.
I was thinking of changing it up. I'll just go player B.
You're going to go
I
player
know
B.
player A will be the easier one.
Right,
I just
okay.
kind of break habits.
Right, that's fine. So Ryan McGinley, you're up first then. Your player, he joined Celtic from Duisburg and he left Celtic for GEF United.
Lubo.
Well, that's correct. Quick answer. There you go. Lubo Moravchik. Well done.
Gave it away.
Yep. I thought you would have got it off of that, to be fair. Well done.
Extremely difficult one for player B.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Here we go. Kieran, your player joined Celtic from Toulouse in France and he left Celtic for Valenciennes. Valenciennes. I think it's pronounced Valenciennes. As always, I'll give you another wee clue just to make it
I didn't
easier.
even know that second team.
Valenciennes. It's spelt like Valencia, but take away the A at the end and put in IENNES. Valenciennes.
Was that a French team?
Valenciennes, I think, were French, if I remember rightly. He played for Celtic between the years of 2001 and 2009. So here for quite a wee while.
It's not the person I'm thinking of then, I don't think.
2001 to 2009.
Yep. Sometimes people forget he was there that long.
Oh, it might still be that
But he
person.
was. But he was there that long.
Um,
And scored, obviously, against Rangers on more than one occasion. I feel like everybody at home might be shouting at Kieran.
Bobo.
Yes, it is. Bobo's.
That was the
Scandal.
of the teams.
Get you, Bobo
That is
Baldi.
a scandal that he was here till 2009.
How? I'll
Come
tell
on, he was finished.
He was my. This is a true story. He was my first ever favourite football player, Bobo Baldi. My first ever. I had photos of him on my wall at a young age.
He couldn't even play football, the big man, to be fair. He's a
Listen,
defender.
he was fucking fantastic. He was brilliant. 161 appearances he made for Celtic. That says it all. Sent off in the UEFA Cup final. But we won't talk about that. Right, let's get on to our kind of wee talking points heading into the weekend. There's not much, obviously, not much. We've touched on Cameron Carter-Vickers. You're laughing, Jim.
Yeah, let's get into the talking points. There's not really much.
There's not much. There's no. We've touched on the Cameron Carter-Vickers situation, so we don't need to talk about that. But one situation we only kind of brushed, we tarred over with a feather, is Lee Labada and his potential exit from Celtic this summer. It was broke earlier in the week by Sky Sports that Ajax are actively interested in looking at him as an option this summer. Kieran, you've already said your bit on it, but would you like to expand a bit more? Do you think that Ajax is the kind of club that could see Liel leave Celtic this summer?
I don't think it's unrealistic to think that. I mean, I would obviously want to go to the Premier League, but I don't think there's going to be too much major interest for the Premier League. Certainly, maybe like Bolton level than a.
Yep.
I can't imagine any team even mid-table and up taking a punt on him. I mean, I love Abada. He's been massive for us in so many games, scored so many important goals, and he actually came in and hit the ground running when a lot of people didn't expect anything fair, to be honest. We just seen a youth player being signed for But was he 18 or 19 at
He
the time?
was 18, I think, when he joined. I think he was very shortly 19 afterwards.
So you looked at that and you're like, is this going to be an immediate impact? Because you're seeing other players coming in, obviously if you're doing South, like Liam Shaw and what's his name?
Origide.
Aye, Urigide.
Aye.
So you were never sure, but I don't. It's like I'm never going to wish any ill on him about that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think you'll see too many opportunities till the end of the season. I think Ange isn't going to play somebody that he thinks isn't going to be here next season when he doesn't have to. Like, I think if his hand was forced.
Yeah. Do you think it'd be different if the games had more significance?
I know. I think it would definitely be different. Like that's what I talked about. I think we've got the cushion that we can afford to know.
Yeah.
Like I don't think it's going to, and I can already tell how it's going to go when he does leave. Everybody fucking pure raised it. I'm like, if you want to move towards this player trading model, like actually becoming a club that properly does it and upgrades on players, when somebody leaves, you take the money at the highest selling point, which we've not really done historically.
I know we've spoke about it a lot on this podcast, but I got a comment the other day on the video that I made about Abada, and someone says, gone are the days where we made Henrik Larsson's and Paul McStay's and yada yada. I'm like, it's a joke that we can't do that. And I'm like, how far behind are you, man? Like, the days have been gone for 20 odd years. Like, that is not a possibility anymore. Those days are gone. Yes, we've made the odd Scott Brown, club legend.
We had Rogic and Beaton that were both there for 8 and 9 years.
True. But then people don't look at Rogic and Beaton in the same light as you know, Larsson or a McStay or anything like that. But you know, and I don't get it. It's like, do we just pick and choose now who fits that mould? Is that what it is? Are we waiting until someone has a stand named after them or a song named? You know,
fan base loves their moon. Let's be
yeah.
honest.
It's like when things are going well, there has to be something to
I
moan
think
about.
if there's going to be a player that you've got a realistic chance, like keep him for the best years is Kyogo, because I feel like he's at the point now where if he doesn't move on in the summer, which I really, really hope clubs don't come sniffing about him, but if he doesn't, he's at the point where a lot of big teams aren't going to pay the money to bring somebody that was going to be like 28, 29. So I think we might be lucky in the sense that we'll be able to keep a hold of him, but other players, you'll keep Jota in that. Is Jota going to get this treatment when he eventually leaves? Like,
Probably.
like it's young guys that are coming in. Anybody that's more than very notably everybody loves them. It's pretty obvious if they're young enough they're going to move on to another club. I think it's very unrealistic. I feel like exhausted having to say this time and time again, but these guys don't really owe anything to
No, they don't.
Celtic. We gave them a platform, fair
They're
enough,
here to
but
enhance
we
their
get the
players.
benefits of that as well. Like you can acknowledge that a player came and gave you a good few years of his career and moved on. Like these guys, realistically, they don't want to stay at Celtic. They don't want to play in Scotland forever. Like they want to go and challenge themselves at the highest level. And if you look at players in the team, you see a few of them that their ceiling is very high. Rio Hatate being probably the main example. I would argue, we've said before, he's probably got the highest ceiling of any player in the team. But the actual quality he possesses, so he's not going to stay in Scotland his full career. As much as we would love for these guys to come in and say, I want to spend my full career here, as you said, gone are the days.
This is the thing.
Those
That
were
is
the
the
days.
that's the ideology that they'll have been sold when they're going to the club in the first place.
Yeah.
It's getting used as a platform for better things. Abada will go to a higher level than Celtic, I think. I think it's quite fair to say. Ajax would be a good move for him because they'd be
Really
able to
good move.
nurture his talent, and there's still pressure every week, but Ajax sometimes don't win the league as well. You know, it's between them, PSV and Feyenoord, but he'd have more time to nurture and grow at Ajax. And it'd be a
Because they
great-
certainly, sorry Brian, they certainly have a better chance of making an impact in Europe than what Celtic do. They have a far better chance. I know they've had a bit of a down this season. But
got put
this
up in
this
your
happens
bottom.
every few years. They go through their period where they get raided and the manager leaves and then they come back stronger.
3 years later, they've got
Aye.
a team full of world beaters again.
Yeah,
and
that's what's
the
going to happen.
cycle
And
repeats.
Abada can
that's
be
what
one
we
of the
want to be though as well.
Abada can be the forefront of that. So in his eyes, and this isn't me trying to endorse a move to Ajax for him, but I'm just putting myself in the eyes of the football player here and saying, like, I look at what Ajax have done very successfully over the last 10 years. Can I be the next Anthony? Yeah, I can. Why not believe that? Why can he not be the next £90 million player that Ajax make? If he goes and plays well, you never know. And that's the chance. That's how he'll be looking at it. You know, people put words in my mouth saying that's what's going to happen with Abada. That's not what I'm saying. But there's no reason why he shouldn't, if he's ambitious as a football player, think that he can do that.
Could be as good as Anthony.
Yeah, I mean,
Because I
why
think
not?
he's a bit of a
Right, we're
one-trick
not getting into it, right? No United chat. But let's talk about it for Celtic here for a minute, and the positive side of things. What would be positive for Celtic? What are we talking, Ryan? Do you think that anything above £10 million is a
15,
win?
20, I would say.
You try to push
I
it?
don't think we'll get that.
I don't think we'll even touch 15.
15,
I
wow.
think
I
I would
don't
love
think
to. I think 15 would be a good amount.
That'd be a
I
class
don't
amount.
think we'll get 15, to be honest. Like, I think maybe if he was like main man this season, like top goal
Yeah, you've
scorer,
got to
like
factor
then
that in as
he
well.
can. I mean, he's chipped in very well. I mean, I don't even know his stats, but
12 goals, I think, this season.
it's a good return. For
12 goals, 9 assists or something.
Very good, very good return for a winger.
Yeah.
So you can't argue. I think you would like to get more money from, but I just don't think it's realistic. But as we've spoke about before about player trading model and that, like you're kind of in the past when you sold these players with Celtic, you were worried we're not even going to fucking reinvest it. Or like in the past, you were worried that we sell these guys for like 15 million up, and then we'll replace them for £3 million.
Yeah.
But the replacements have been good. The money, like Alistair Johnson being the prime example, like we actually went out and got somebody that usually would be raging that we never went out and spent so much money.
Yeah.
But we're Celtic, we're not going to go out and spend a ridiculous amount in a replacement. But you've got confidence in the scouting's network now that the players that are coming in, even though you've not heard of them, like it's not like 10 years ago you heard certain players coming in, you're like, who the fuck is that? And
Yeah.
you had no hope whatsoever. You think, who the fuck's that? But then you actually look into it, and then after about five games, you're sold. So that's what you need to hope that we've moved towards now. And I know every transfer is a success, but you'd like to think if we sold them, we've got somebody in mind.
Yeah, we should make enough money to have a couple of people in
You
mind
think
as
about
well.
that, you think about the Abada potential sale, you think about the money that we're probably going to get from
Frimpong.
Frimpong's sale, because apparently we've got a sizable
Yeah, yeah.
sell on him, which is...
Surely Kieran Tierney moves on this summer as well.
Yeah, Kieran Tierney might
I'd
be
expect
off.
him to go to maybe Newcastle.
I think Newcastle.
Be a great move for him. I know it's not the Newcastle podcast, but, you know... be a
Sorry,
good
I'm
move.
going to a Newcastle game next week. Right, it's fine.
It's fair. What one's that?
I'm going to Everton. Goodison Park. Going to watch Dyche Ball live in the flesh, ladies and gents. Cannot
Paid
wait.
for that?
No, I got a ticket for free.
Fair enough.
So, of course, I'd have paid for it. You think if I paid for that, I'd be cancelling the podcast because I'd be going to my grave. Surely that'd be the end of days if I was paying for an Everton fucking ticket.
But you think about all the money, just going back to that point, the Frimpong money, the Abada money, the inevitable Champions League money.
Yeah.
We're going to reinvest in the team.
Aye.
It's great being in
And
that
you
sort
put
of
all that
competition.
together with these court cases and share issues there the other side, eh?
Aye. Do you know what? As long as we're better on the pitch, I don't care about whatever happens.
See, here's a question. Do you think there's anybody else in the team that will move on this summer? Because
Yeah.
obviously the talk is about Abada, but do you see a Rio Hatate leaving?
Potentially O'Reilly, I would say.
I
Did
could
you see the stuff about O'Reilly? But it was Fabrizio
Yeah, I seen that.
tweeted saying about how supposedly he's happy at
Yep.
Celtic. But I mean, you've heard that before.
I've heard that. Aye, that's a.
I mean, it wasn't too
broken
long ago
record,
you were
isn't it?
hearing like supposed Premier League interest in Carol Starfelt.
Well, I was about to
and
say,
that.
I think one of the centre halves will leave. One of the two main ones, Vickers or Starfelt. I can see one
I
of
think
these two
everybody would
leaving.
rather Vickers stayed.
Aye.
Yeah.
That sounds very harsh on Carol.
I know,
I
but
do
I
love
mean,
you,
like,
Carol, but if you had to
Carl
choose,
Vickers in it, but
Aye.
Going
aye.
in, we paid more for Carter Vickers.
I
as
think
well,
that,
and
you know,
see the difference.
it's very early days. That's the thing now, isn't it? Because well, we are approaching transfer window time and the end of the season. But that's when I think the ball will start rolling for our players' interest being drummed up by some. I think we're only scraping the bottom of scraping the top of the barrel just now, and we're going to get through it all.
Just going back to the Carl Starfelt point, we've not seen him like basically at all in his best position. This is one of the few times.
I know.
So we don't know how good Starfelt can be because he's not been playing in his best position
Yeah.
on the right hand side. I'm really excited to see how he moves forward in this position. If Carter Vickers comes back and then he has to play left centre back, that's absolutely fine. But it'd be interesting to see that sort of partnership starting between him and Kobayashi. Kobayashi, I think, will be a first team player next season. He's really excited me in the games that he's
I
played.
wonder
so
if
far.
that's the aim.
I think that probably is. To be
Because
honest.
when we got him in,
Yeah.
like try to bed him into the team.
Left footed, yada yada.
Because I mean, obviously behind the scenes, they'll have a lot more an idea who's leaving in the summer. Like even if it's not getting said publicly, they'll have an idea. These clubs are interested in these players and they're likely to make a move. Like,
Yep.
I think
Well-
we'll get another centre half in anyway because I think Stephen Welsh will leave in the summer.
Yeah, I
Either
think that's
on
definitely
loan
going to
or-
be a wee bit
I wonder,
depth
I wonder if
touched on it.
Stephen Welsh will get his move to somewhere like Indonesia or something. See, I feel like he's been linked to them every transfer window.
Yeah.
Or some Italian club.
Aye, he'll end up hanging about with Lewis Ferguson or something anyway, so Aye.
Plenty of scope to have a really good career, especially abroad. It's been shown, and even look at Jack Hendry. He's had a
You'd
good
rather
career.
go abroad than fucking go and play for some shit
Bristol.
team in Scotland.
Or Championship.
Or doing the Championship.
Bristol.
aye.
Apart from the bad stuff, to be honest, there's not much else to talk about, really. This is where as I always do, I'll open the floor to the Perrys if there's anything you want to touch on.
I feel like we've not spoke about him enough, but the past 2 performances from Tomoki Iwata have been really
been
encouraging.
good.
We're not missing Hatate as much because he's came in and done a job. I don't think he's as creatively good as Hatate. It's very difficult to be because Hatate is that good. I'm his biggest fan, basically, but Iwata's shown that he's more than a number 6 in this team as well. That's what Andrew said. Andrew's quick to say he's more than just a holding midfielder.
Yeah.
Really, really impressed with his movement off the ball as well. He moves about the pitch a lot, and it was some great comments as well from O'Reilly saying that he's an absolute tank and that
It's a big boy to be
his
fair,
arms
eh?
are bigger than a lot of the players' legs.
Aye.
But it seems that he's really sort of made his mark now in the team, and it'll be a bit weird when he's on the bench again because I don't think he should be anymore. I think he should be a starter from here on in.
It's just part and parcel with this season, isn't it? Because a midfielder comes in and then they're undroppable, and then you just end up that it's like Moy doing it and Hatate and every midfielder at some point this season has been the undroppable one.
Do you think there will be much rotation to the end of the season? Like in midfield? I feel like he probably could afford to.
Yeah, I don't see why not. I suppose.
But then again, it's down to the argument, will he rotate for the sake of rotating?
Yeah, it's a weird one. So
I mean, you got to remember there's also a midweek fixture in the split as well. The second last game is always a midweek one, so you're going to probably see a bit of rotation there.
Yeah. We'll deal with it when it
It
comes.
seems a bit sacrilegious to say, but do you play Moy in the lesser games now in order to keep Iwata?
And it's weird because Moy was like undroppable and
I've just
Talking
been really impressed by Iwata.
talking about Moy, we've not heard anything about a contract yet, have we?
Well, he's got the
The year
option for another
extension.
year.
Aye.
I think they come out and say
He's triggered it. He's here. Boom. I'm sure he'll be here next year anyway, but it's a conversation for another day.
We need to keep them because we'll have less and less to talk about. So we'll keep topics
I know. I trust me, I know. Anything else? McGinley's brought up a Wata, Kieran. Any topics that you'd like to touch on before we go into the Twitter questions?
I've generally not been on Twitter or anything the past
same,
couple of
mate.
days to like
Same.
barely been on it. But I don't really know what the big talking points are now. Like anytime I go on Twitter, I last about 30 seconds and then fucking swipe half it because it's a pure soulhead.
Yep. I know. I must say there has been a certain serenity about life without Twitter. I'm not even that fussed about getting it back. I must admit, I'm actually enjoying it. It's quite nice. I mean, that's just over 3 weeks now that I have been in isolation from society. I've been kept out from the real world, but it's nice, and I'm sure nobody's missing me either. Probably a positive. Aye.
Listen, it happens, mate.
It happens. I know you.
What is your platform of choice now? Now that Twitter has been
Fucking all me. I feel like a ghost.
You're gonna go for a
Letterboxd.
You're gonna go for John McKenzie's crown on
No,
Instagram?
no, not at all. I
See,
couldn't
he
take
made
that.
the
credit.
Greenock paper.
Aye, good on him. Hopefully the game his column next.
I hope so.
He's been banging on about a column in the.
I know he listens, so
I
shout
know.
out to him. I love him to bits.
I want a campaign. I'm going to try and put a word down with somebody at the Greenock Times or whatever it's called.
Like your contacts at the Greenock
I've got
Telegraph.
plenty. Telegraphs at it.
I would read his column.
Of course you would.
Or a movie
It's
review
all
or
about,
something,
you always
whatever.
know a guy who knows, like, listen, all of our lecturers or journalists, surely they know somebody at the Greenock Telegraph, you know what I mean? So I'll get away, that, because that's the beginning. Once you expand for Greenock, the country's his.
See, when I seen that there was bowls on and
Oh,
that bowl,
what a-
mate, I was so happy
Jesus,
because
what a
it's been
day.
so long without bowls.
What a day. Right, talking about our brilliant viewers, it's time to talk to you, the viewers, with our replies in the tweets today. I told you earlier on, a bit late. I only realised about 6 o'clock. I was like, fucking hell, we're recording it now. So I put up a tweet very late today. Apologies for your questions, but we still got a nice amount, and we're going to touch on them now with the very dodgy Wi-Fi this evening. So Cal is first in, as always. Cal's here. He's here and he's always here. Say Lineker properly got the boot from match of the day. Which Celtic players / managers would you want to see replace the current panel? Lenny.
I think Gordon Strachan would be a good laugh.
Oh,
on it.
Stratton. That's a good shout, Kieran.
I think he's blacklisted after his comments, to be honest. I can't remember exactly what he said. Oh, it was the Adam Johnson comments, remember?
Oh.
When they get done away for Sky
What has he
Sports
said
because of
again?
that. He said he's done his time.
Aye, that was
and
right,
it's,
aye.
And it's not worse than
Well, that's
racism,
just as well match of the days on BBC, so
I suppose.
maybe they'll give him a chance. The BBC aren't
No,
exactly squeaky clean,
That's a
are they?
bit- No, that's a bit of a segue, but have you watched any of the Paramount coverage of the Champions League?
I
With-
see it
always-
TikTok all the
absolutely
time.
brilliant.
Is Paramount the one that's
There's
like...
Kate Abdo and Terry Henry, Jamie
Aye.
Carragher and Micah Richards. Yeah, that is good. It seems good, that coverage. That's what you always get on the perfectly legal streams. That's
Absolutely.
I always get that. But I don't know if I was to pick
We love
what.
her.
What?
We love Kate Abdo.
Yeah.
She was good in the boxing, I remember, years ago as well.
She used to. She's done the the Champions League draw a couple of times as well. I'm sure. But I don't know. A Celtic players, past, present, to present match of the day or beyond match of the day. I mean, Gordon Strachan's a really good shout.
Rooney would be quite good on it, I think.
Yeah, Bruni could be a shout actually.
I'm trying to think who's got the personality.
I know. I'm trying to think. It was Joe Hart. Yeah, I'm on it.
He'll
was,
definitely get.
He was decent.
See, no, I was actually thinking, I seen that question come in, I was thinking like a sort of question after it. It's like, what players currently would you imagine being a pundit? Like, when
Right
you
now?
retire? Because
Oh.
it's like, see at the time, I didn't think Chris Commons would have been a...
Yeah.
a
Oh,
pundit.
aye. I know. It's true.
So like, some
True.
come for the pure left field. But
Aye. Do you know? I could picture Alistair Johnson being like on in the Super Bowl coverage or something. You know, I could picture that.
Stanley Cup.
Aye, you know, something daft like that. I don't know currently because you know your mind automatically goes to the Scottish players because
Yeah.
they obviously
'Cause
going to
they'll
stay
get the
here.
job,
But
yeah.
Forrest is dull. Turnbull's dull.
There's
what
no
about
way.
Greg Taylor?
Taylor, I was thinking maybe
He's got a bit of
He's got a bit of a
personality,
laugh
aye.
about him. It could be Taylor.
I
huh?
think
I could imagine Greg Taylor hosting like the Friday night championship game like, on BBC Scotland. I
All
can
right,
see
I'm
that.
Greg. Welcome to the
is
championship.
it Scott Minto that does that sometimes. Or the guy that used to do the guy that used to do the La Liga coverage on Sky Sports.
Oh, is
He
it?
used to actually play football, which is I didn't realise that. But about another left field one, Jota could be a pundit, I think.
Ah, Jota could be. Jota
He could be whatever he wants to
Aye,
be.
he's
honestly.
the world is his oyster, quite genuinely.
He's living life on easy
Good
mode,
question,
that boy.
Kieran. Right, there's a question for you, the audience. Who do you think?
Who in the current squad can you see being a pundit?
There's a good one.
There's not many.
There isn't many for a team
Awata.
for a team that we love so much. You know.
Sports scene.
Right, we've got Arnold who has said, "Who do you think will get more game time next season, Vata or Mikey Johnson? Vata, because Mikey Johnson's not going to be here."
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Aye, fair.
That was pretty easy. Nice. Aaron here, shout out to Aaron. He says, you can only have one of Hatate, Vickers or Jota available for next week. Who and why?
Carter Vickers. Actually. Yeah, Carter Vickers.
And
for me.
why?
Why? Because he makes me feel safe.
Right,
See,
okay.
when he's in the team,
Yeah.
I feel safe.
I'll give my answer very quickly because I'm going to say Vickers for the reason of there's more depth in the other two areas. So if somebody does drop down, if Kobayashi drops down, then the thought of Welsh coming on kind of scares me. So
Just gives me flashbacks to him coming on his right back.
yeah, so I'm going to pick Vickers as well. Kieran,
Jota.
you going Jota? Why?
I don't know. Like we were talking about, we were comfortable with the idea of Kobayashi starting the game. So I don't know. I'm just kind of trying to back up what I said earlier. I'm trying not to contradict myself.
Cool.
Continuity of that.
It's always about the continuity. Kara has asked a good question in relation to next week, but I'm going to save it for next week because I don't want to jinx anything. I don't want to put any bad juju in the air about Hatate and his fitness. Let's just hope he's back. For the game where the league is this is Aiden. For the game where the league is officially won, would you rather a last minute winner or a battering where it's a 90-minute party?
Battering.
I mean, who'll be against anyway? I don't really.
I thought he was meaning the last game against Rangers in that tweet.
For the game where the league is officially won. Can we-
Where the league is officially won.
Yeah.
Does that mean just at the end of the game?
I just give
I
a
mean-
battering.
Aye.
Doesn't have to be dramatic, in my
This is
opinion.
funny. For about 10 minutes, the game against Dundee United, you know, when we won the league, I was annoyed because we drew the game, and then I was like, right, come on, get a grip here.
Aye,
We've
get a
won
grip
the league.
yourself, aye.
It's just that winning mentality. But, you know, it was some goal by Dylan Levitt, so.
You're guaranteed free signings this summer. What positions should we strengthen? And is there anyone in particular that you'd like to see us bring in? That's Caden.
I think it's realistic to say a goalkeeper will be coming in this summer because I think as much as I love Joe Hart, I think it's unrealistic to say that he'll be the main man for for years to come. I think he's probably under the illusions of that. So you probably hear more about that in Foster's
Podcast, aye.
Fucking need to tune into that.
They were get Foster, get one of their podcasts. We're fucking promoting you.
I'm trying to think other positions to prioritise. I don't think midfield's needed.
No, unless
It
we
depends
lose
on who
people.
leaves. and
Yeah,
that.
yeah. It's hard to say because you don't know who's going to leave.
Currently, I think they're sort of predicting.
I
who's
would
gonna
say
leave.
current moment, I gave you the keeper, another centre half, and maybe another fullback, maybe.
A right winger for me.
I was going to say, because we're talking about a bad leaving,
Yeah.
I think it's unrealistic to think that. But then again, it's about, is the youth going to come through next season? Is Mikey Johnson going to come back and be the world beater after skinning a couple of Latvian defenders?
Maybe.
I think
For
Time
some.
will tell.
For some.
thing that isn't getting as talked about is the fact that Benjamin Siegrist is fit and he's not making the bench.
Yeah, it's weird. I think he might be off.
Me too.
I
I
think
just
he'll
don't
be
think
off.
that's worked
Yeah.
at all, which is a shame.
It
But
is.
you know what?
It
He's
is.
Keeper.
got an Australian influencer out of it, so you know he's doing no too bad for himself.
Aye. Some lucky for some. A lot of questions we've had in the past, so I'm going to leave them just now. Trust me, in the summer it'll be very comments dictated. So if you're really wanting questions asked, the summer will be big for it. What happened to the Twitter, Ryan? The Chinese government tried to get secrets for the. Have you seen that the Russians have adopted the Chinese currency? What a weird one that is.
But I thought they were making a currency together.
Something like that. I've seen it today. Weird.
Heels going
To
together.
rival the dollar on that.
Aye. They'll try to destroy them for the inside, you know. You know, try to do something. The world needs entertainment. I'm all for it. What has been your favourite
You
game?
warmonger.
Nah, I'm a pacifist. I can't say anything. What has been your favourite game this season?
Got to be the 4-0 against
Yeah,
Rangers.
got
Got
to
to be.
Hogwarts Legacy. That's a shite answer, man. Not even played it. The 4-0, aye.
That was peak humanity. That, to be honest, I don't think my life gets better than that. They'll let
Hard
one
to
this
see
season.
by it, man.
Yeah.
I think I
I'm
get
trying
stuck
to
when I
think of
say
any
it.
other game that in my mind comes a second.
The 9-0 game was good as well against
Aye.
Dundee United. And that first half against Kilmarnock was some of the best football we've played. So,
I'm laughing already at seeing a comment.
what is it?
I'll get to it in a moment. Will the Celtic, Anthony Devine, shout out to Anthony. He says, will the Celtic end campaign be successful?
Probably not.
I
I would like it to
I would
be,
love it to be, but I'm
but I just
sceptical.
think there's too many people
Stumbling
that
blocks.
don't want to leave like their seats.
People that own a seat,
Yeah,
you rent
yeah.
it.
I've been at seat 15 years.
Oh, you
I
can
mean,
move them.
I can maybe understand, like, but I don't know. I just think it's a bit. People are going to have very strong opinions on it.
Yeah.
People are doing it just for the sake of being stubborn, but like people that have just made up their mind that they hate the Green Brigade and all that, and like you see the same grating faced bastards on Twitter like all the time. Like it's like, the thing that really annoyed me was like the suggestion every day wear hoops to the semi final.
yeah.
Fucking tell me what to wear. Fuck.
You don't speak funny.
Do you know what? I'm going to wear a Rangers stamp. I'll wear that.
Honestly, like just doing it.
I know.
They'll just be difficult.
I know.
I love how 2021 Kieran Old just came out to play there. It showed a wee bit there.
Just
that
the cracks
season,
are
it
showing.
came back.
But it's just so frustrating.
I know.
Like why
I know.
just be pure difficult? Can't that should just it's on Twitter
One-
especially.
The one area that I can understand why people don't want to move is like maybe like deceased family members that sat there and then they'll keep that seat going
Yeah,
forward.
sentimentality.
Yeah.
And I think a major issue that it's not really just talked about is like you can relocate people, like, but then it's like you can't relocate people that are in the bottom tier because they struggle to get upstairs. Now you can't somebody
Yeah.
for the top tier gets a seat in the Celtic end. You can't exactly move them up.
Yeah,
So it is
yeah.
a bit of a logistical nightmare.
That is.
And you've also got to
That's why I
realise-
think it won't.
And
happen,
in the
sadly.
north stand as well, you've got all the padded seats
Yeah.
up the back as well. That's kind of
Hospitality, yep.
But the bastard, you can't do it in the Lisbon Lion stand because they won't allow that next to the away section.
Yeah.
And if they want to do that, then that's an admission that the old allocations are never coming back for.
Yeah.
So it has to be up the other end, and I think there's too many hurdles. I would love it to happen, but I just think there's too many obstacles. Too many.
It's something that if it does happen, it's not going to be any time soon.
No, it would take a lot of
a
planning.
long time.
Supposedly in the summer, Celtic are actually putting out a thing about like register like,
Interest.
gauging interest for it. So that's promising that
Yeah.
they're doing it, but whether or not they're doing it just to keep you happy.
Yeah, to
like,
kind of create an illusion,
Aye.
if you like. And then the final question before I get onto the great Phil Smith. It's just see
Phil.
at this point, Phil is as much a part of this podcast as the rest of us. You know, he's the fifth man. He's the fifth man, Phil. But Joe Hill says, "Who would you like to sit beside for an entire season at Celtic Park, and who would you despise to sit next to for an entire season?" It has to be somewhat realistic. I mean,
Realistic in terms of they have to last fucking seasons, I guess. Celtic Park.
I don't know. I would despise sitting beside, I don't know. Try to think.
Tommy Sheridan or something.
Aye, Tommy's a good laugh. I don't know. Who'd I love to sit next to?
Need to watch my answer here.
That's what I think we need to go away and think about for a week.
I know.
I kind of
That's
think
a whole
about it.
podcast.
I know, aye. Who would you like to sit next to at Celtic Park? Charlie XCX. Be nice.
He's realistic and then
Yeah,
a pop star.
Alright, do you know what? Fine. My answer. Ellie Dixon. There we go.
Thirsty boy, man.
That is my answer, Ellie Dixon. I'd love to sit beside Ellie.
Okay.
I would hate to sit beside Ryan for a season.
Well, you've been doing it for 7 seasons, Kieran, so...
I know, it doesn't get any easier.
I'd like to sit beside Siamese Boy.
Alright, okay.
See if he actually does exist.
Yes, right, cool.
I'd like to sit beside the guy that sits like 10 rows down for us, and anytime there's like a VAR, like anything that could go to VAR, he starts going
Circle.
What is...
I respect
red
the
button or
commitment at this
Do
point
you
to
know
just not
what? Do
change
you know
it
what?
up.
Actually, shout out to him because for the first time he's been sitting there for the last 7 years as well. We've always seen him, but it was only very recently. I think it was actually after the Rangers game. He said hello to me. He watched the channel or whatever. So
I feel there.
Hello.
Keep it up.
keep it up. I love the.
Don't change it to the square.
It gives us a good laugh. I love it. It's the highlight of the game for me. Who would I hate to sit beside? Phil Smith. And Phil is in the comments here with a couple of questions for us today. So first of all, he says, do you still need tips on how to pick up women? Or are you all still virgins? P.S. Phil isn't. Dancing emoji.
If you have to say you're not a virgin.
Meant to I said one of my favourite comments for the last podcast was these boys in university frightening. The other one was this podcast's a real testament to all the nerds that can't get girls. It shows they can get a job just talking about the best team in the world, Hill boys. And I'm like, nothing but respect for
I
that.
know, nothing but respect. It's so true. And question 2. For the end of the season awards, will there be a 118 fan of the year? And is Phil in the running for the award?
And the third person and everything as well.
I told you, Phil is the 5th man of this podcast. He is the 5th man. He is every part of this podcast as we
I
are.
wonder if he's actually that Twitter account's not real. But
No, I know. But I like the illusion that
Yeah,
Phil
you
is.
if it was ever real, maybe the real Phil Smith was the friends we made along the way.
Oh man, Phil, keep it coming.
1950 is the number.
Yeah,
that's on his,
which would make him
73.
73.
Jeez,
Just a 73-year-old just
Yeah.
starting beef with us. I like that
respect
idea.
it, man.
Yeah.
Thank you, Phil.
I
as
hope
always.
that's me when I'm fucking 73.
Oh man.
It will be me when I'm 73.
Right, that's that from Phil, and that's that from you guys. Oh my, nearly disconnected the microphone there. And that's that from you guys. So quickly to end off today,
I've
it's
done the same.
time. What?
I nearly done this.
Oh, right, I thought you said we never done the quiz. I was like, give me a
feeling
minute.
left it, man. I might fucking yank my one.
Yank it out. So it's time for the quiz to end today's episode. It is If You Know Your History. And it's going to be, once again, I need to start getting Kieran to send a couple so I can play. But it's Kieran Auld versus Ryan McGinley again. And because I let Kieran pick first for player A or player B in the earlier quiz, Ryan McGinley, I'll let you pick first. If you'd like to be player A or player B
I'll
here.
go player A.
You're going to go first then
Yeah.
today. Right, well done. He's looking for redemption, Ryan. He's not been on the
Have I
greatest
won
run
the
of
last
form.
couple? I couldn't-
Yeah, you have. Since your return from surgery. It's like, did they put a new brain in there?
I was studying.
Studying in the hospital. Right, so it's time for our full-time quiz. And today, the theme is simple. You're going to have to cast your minds back. This is my fault for not doing a podcast last week. This was meant to be last week's stuff.
Okay.
But it's not. It's this week's stuff now. So we're casting our minds back to Celtic 3, Rangers 2 a couple of weeks ago. So the alcohol may have drained your memories, but you've got to try and cast all
Yours
back.
didn't do mine till 7 o'clock. I didn't have a drink until 7 o'clock.
Aye, rub it in. Right, okay, Ryan McGinley, are you ready?
Yeah.
As player 1.
Yeah.
Okay, player 1.
See if
your
this is
first-
about exact minutes.
Who assisted Kyogo's opening goal?
Matt O'Reilly.
Correct. Well done, Ryan. Good start.
I don't even remember the goals.
Well,
Lovely touch from O'Reilly.
I've not watched it back in like fucking 10 days.
well, you better remember because a goal's about to come up for you. Your first question, Kieran Auld. Whose back pass did Jota seize onto for the eventual match winner?
So,
Yes,
I remember
correct.
that.
Wasn't it?
Signing of the season.
Yeah, Roger Hanna's pre-season pick for Player of the Year. That's what Kieran's had.
the season.
Right, play it. Do you know what I love? I keep watching the video of Gordon Deal
Doing
hitting
the gritty.
The gritty. What's this gritty? Are you taking the fucking piss? He is a treasure, to be fair.
He
I
is.
do like Gordon Deal. Right, Ryan McGinley, question 2. What is the overall aggregate score between Celtic and Rangers following Saturday's win?
4-0. I'm going to go through them all. Right.
Aye, well, hurry up.
4-0. 2-2. This would be 6-2. 8-3. Is it 11-5?
Correct. That is 11-5. Well done, McGinley.
Had to show my work in
Yeah,
this.
yeah. Hey, listen, it's not one you can rush into.
you don't get an extra point for the one.
No.
It's fucking
It's
mad.
QA, man.
Right, Kieran Auld, question 2. How many wins does Celtic need now to overtake Rangers on all-time derby head-to-head following Saturday's win? Is it 3, 5, 7 or 9?
3.
It's 5.
I only went 3 because that's what I was thinking in my head.
That's 5.
Before
5 wins. Celtic currently have 164 wins to Rangers 168.
Imagine growing up at this time and being a Rangers fan.
Oh, miserable.
Like, celebrating the Scottish Cup as if it's the biggest thing,
Yeah.
you know.
Right, McGinley, to take a lead here, a comfortable lead. How many bookings did Celtic receive overall in the 3-2 win?
I'm going to go 5. There's 6 in it.
4. Cameron Carter-Vickers, Callum McGregor, Matt O'Reilly and Aaron Moy. There you go. So 4
There
bookings.
was a point where it felt like the whole midfield was on
Yeah,
a booking.
yeah.
And I was like, get somebody off.
Right, Kieran, a big chance to equalise, son. This is huge. How many changes did Celtic make from the 4-0 home win over Rangers to the 3-2 victory?
How many changes?
Yeah. So that's a difficult one, mate.
That is very difficult.
That is a difficult one. Kieran's going to have words.
3.
Good guess. The correct answer is 3. Johnston, Moy and Maida came in for Juranovic, Hatate and Abada. So there you go. Well done. That's it. All equal with 2 questions to play for. So McGinley, to reinstate your lead. Which of the 2, if they start Rangers will win, superstars got booked first? TikTok Shirley from EastEnders or Zinedine Raskin?
Wait, can you repeat that question?
Which of the 2, if they start Rangers will win, superstars got booked first? TikTok Shirley from EastEnders, aka Todd Cantwell, or Zinedine Raskin?
I think it was Raskin.
It was Raskin.
It
Yeah,
was.
'cause it was
I
him
got-
with McGregor.
I got a treble up in the first half. McGregor, Raskin, and Cantwell.
Yeah.
Was people worried up in my bit because they thought that McGregor had swiped at Raskin.
Yeah.
And they thought, right, VAR's going to fuck us here, basically. But it was alright.
Yeah. Right, Kieran, to equalise. Who was Celtic's first substitution in the game and for who?
Aaron Moy.
He came off.
For Awata.
Correct. Well done.
It was a
Doing
great
well
sub.
here,
We
boys.
scored like 2 minutes later as well.
Yeah.
He really did change the game
Right.
and calmed us down.
Yeah. So 3 each. 3 out of 4 for both these. This is it. Question number 5. Your final questions.
Straight off the bum.
Ryan McGinley. James became the first player since himself in May 2019 in the derby to do what?
2019. Could you repeat that again? Sorry, mate.
So James Tavernier became the first player since himself to do in the derby to do what? The first time since May 2019.
That scored a free kick.
Yes, correct. Score a direct free kick.
Scott Bain, man.
2-0
Remember that?
at Ibrox, where Bain decided to sit next to it as it went in the back post. So McGinley is currently the winner, but Kieran Auld
They're all right this
put a
week.
stop to that. What was the last derby since Saturday's win to involve at least 5 goals? So 5 goals in the game. When was the last time it happened?
Did we not get beat 4-1 at Ibrox?
Correct. Rangers 4,
In the
Celtic
COVID
1 in the
season.
2021 COVID season, which means at
Didn't
4-all. What a good quiz, by the way. 4-all.
Usually we've been shambolic.
Yeah, 4-all. 4 out of 5 other
Been
twos.
low scoring affairs.
Yeah.
Which means it's a tie-breaker question time.
This is sickening.
This
This
is
is
it.
the best I've done in weeks.
So-
I'm going to a tiebreaker again. I'm going to fucking lose again. I can fucking feel it.
30 players have now played at least one competitive game for Celtic this season. Amongst those 30 players, how many derby goals have they scored combined versus Rangers? Ryan McGinley, you were first. You get the first guess.
Could you again
Wait,
repeat the
30, right, 30 players have now played at least one competitive game for Celtic this season. Out of all of those 30 players, how many derby goals have they scored combined versus Rangers? How many goals?
this season?
No,
Or
just
all
in their entire... yeah. So you may as well take a stab at the dark. Find a ballpark figure, the two of yous, and then maybe just go around it. Because you're not going to get it. You're not going to be able to sit there and calculate it. I'm not letting you, because you'll be there all fucking night. But McGinley, you're first up. Closest takes it.
I don't know, like 27.
Okay. Kieran,
17.
I'll need to get my calculator out here because the two of yous are in a very close region. So, Ryan McGinley, you said 27, which means you are... Okay, right. Not far. McGinley, Kieran,
in
you
the
said
middle, innit?
17, didn't you? One of yous is 4 off, and one of yous is 6 off. The correct answer was 23, which means Ryan McGinley, well done. You're closest this week. You
As my
take
man
it.
LeBron James said, it's been a long time coming.
It's about damn time. That was quite
That's
good.
actually what he said. I've totally fucked that quote as well.
Do you know what?
Right.
It's fine. You've got the win. That's all that matters, McGinley. Well done. That was a good quiz this week, lads. And hopefully, you playing at home managed to have an equally impressive performance. Just realised 23 was the number on LeBron James' number 23. Well, it was 23 at that point. So, yeah.
He's number 6 now.
Yeah. Right, that does it then. Thank you very much, ladies and gents, for listening. At home, we'll be back before the derby for all your for all your favourites.
Groundhog Day.
Oh,
These derbies, man.
Oh, that's where the game, the form goes out the window. Kieran, thank you very much.
Oh, okay.
Ryan, thank you very much.
Thanks for having me, mate.
And we'll see you all next time.